Millicent over here.
Her day started hours ago, and Charlotte Schwartz is already behind.
Work-wise, I have done 2 emails and read 1 draft of something. Yeah.
Getting 2 of her kids to camp will mean some reprieve.
Just don't lock me out, okay?
But with a toddler in tow, it can be a challenge just getting there.
Like literally nothing is done yet. Yeah, nothing has been accomplished, but yeah.
But you got up at 5:30?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean much right now. Under normal circumstances, it's a good thing, but it doesn't mean a whole lot in pandemic mode. So.
Pandemic mode. For working mothers, it means a constant state of distraction.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Across the street, Rena Parek. She's also about to start the daily juggle again.
I'm exhausted. And it's not even that physical exhaustion, it's mental and emotional exhaustion. I call this a pandemic rage exercise.
Like so many women, Rena is picking up the ball at home now more than ever.
Okay.
She's a fitness trainer, trying to hold on to a new business that was just getting off the ground, while she takes care of the kids.
Jump, jump, jump. The rage is about how we just fall back into this pattern. It's very frustrating when women like myself, and I know so many who have made such great strides in their careers, and all of a sudden it's coming to a stop.
Party?
It's a pandemic reality.
You want to sit with me? Okay.
The challenge for working moms these days is trying to get the paying job done.
Oh my goodness.
In between everything else.
Have a seat. There you go. Is that good? You know, in recent memory, I don't think I've been through a task where I actually sat down and completed it beginning to end without getting up a few times to get someone a snack or get someone a cup of water or whatever. Oh, and moving again. You know, that is parenting typically, but I've always had the break of going to work, and now I don't have that.
Worried about this thing making too much noise?
It's not making any noise right now at all.
Charlotte and her husband both work from home.
What?
She's a senior law clerk, and the interruptions from the most junior member of the home are constant.
Do you think I can do one thing?
Want
what?
Exactly.
There's no winning this game of chicken.
There they are.
So Charlotte gets up at the crack of dawn, squeezes in work around her daughter's naps, and then she'll often work late when all the kids go to bed. She's not sure how it happened, but she's the one doing more.
It's disappointing because it's so typical, I guess, is the easiest answer. But you can tell that anxiety is high because you're still trying to have this career that you know, in my case, like I've been building it for 18 years. But then all these, you know, additional tasks suddenly fall to you in the absence of childcare and school and other things. Good breathing.
Most of Rena's work was in a gym, but between the lockdown and lack of childcare, she lost most of her income.
Oh! You okay?
What can I do for you, Pop? Okay, can I have 2 of sweet potatoes? Yes, sir.
On the other hand, her husband's samosa takeout business is doing well. And for him to keep working, one of them has to be home. And like many women, she's it.
Where do I go? It's frustrating. You know, it's 2020. We feel like we finally started making progress and we find ourselves in a pandemic. You know, this is a result of the systems that are in place. Traditionally, men make more than women. And so when we look at a household with 2 incomes and the man is making more, the other person, it almost just doesn't make sense for that person not to step back. So just set up your phone so I can see your feet.
Rena scaled back, and she's still doing virtual coaching.
Your feet look like
we've been working on the squat together for a long time.
But there's always a little one nearby.
So
So she tries to work around their schedules, even though that means her workday often stretches well into the night.
And then let's try the other leg. That's why I take calls in the evening or during the day, like during that nap time. It's so I don't get interrupted. Oh, sorry. Are you okay? I mean, we're doing this interview probably half an hour and I've already been interrupted, right? So it's really hard to keep that sense of professionalism.
And there's already a cost. It's been coined the she-cession because the pandemic has hit sectors dominated by women, such as service and hospitality, hardest. Those sectors are also slower to bounce back, but the employment numbers already show fewer women are going back.
We're going to be the one to put up our hand and say, this situation isn't workable. We can't both be in the home working, or I can't go out and do my job. Someone has to take care of the kids. And so all too often the woman is the one who puts up her hand and says, okay, I won't go back.
Jennifer Reynolds is the president and CEO of Toronto Finance International, which works to attract financial investment to Toronto. She's also led initiatives to keep women in the workforce.
I worry if we shift into these traditional roles, if more of our time is spent doing childcare relative to work, as we were in the past, that could be more of a permanent shift.
Jennifer says the research is clear. When women step out of the job market, it's often tough to step back in.
If you take a few years out, there's no doubt about it, it's hard. It's hard to go back. It's very hard to catch up, so to speak, in your career, catch up income-wise, wage-wise, with where you would have been if you'd continued working. So this could have very, very long-term impacts on women.
As friends and neighbors, Charlotte and Rena can commiserate. That is when they find the time.
So what time are we meeting for porch wine?
They've both thought about taking a break from work, but it would mean losing everything they've worked for.
No work got done. I mean, my kids are young, but they're still watching. And I know one day we're going to look back on this and talk about the time when we were in isolation. But Mommy kept going. Mommy kept working. And that self-fulfillment piece, too, becomes very important without completely losing ourselves in motherhood.
There's a mini.
And with an uncertain return to school and daycare, there's no real end in sight.
Having a career outside of the home has been a thing that I've always had. And to see how quickly that can become not significant in order to care for the kids instead is really interesting. And I'm sure it's going to be the subject of many a university level course one day is, what happened to the women during that pandemic in 2020? Did they all drop their careers entirely? Did they shift careers to something completely different that came, was born of this situation? What did they do?
As for them, for now anyway, they'll keep doing it all.
Good job.
Joanna Rumiliotis, CBC News, Toronto.